searching the dark side of the mountain. Through my bones and hair and blood, words rise and cold snatched from my mouth to sink them into the cold black mud.
Howdy everybody, welcome to ZealZaddy. This is our Old Gods of Appalachia campaigns, Launchwise of the Mountain. It's our Series 3. Tonight's episode is called What Webs We Weave. You can follow ZealZaddy everywhere at @ZealZaddy or @ZealZaddy RPG on TikTok, while it's still here, I suppose. You can check out our D&D supplements and our Cypher supplements on DriveThruRPG. We have a new one coming out, but I need some new art because I found an artist that was not good. So I need some new art. If you know any artists, let me know. Drop them in the chat. Very disappointing. So you can use the clip command throughout the sessions to capture the most enjoyable moments. That's !clip, and it is hard to say ! with a southern accent. I'm not sure why. That word's so tough. The opening and closing music is by OBP Musical, and it was composed by Nico Rhodes and sung by Melody McClellan, who I appreciate their efforts so much, and they are working on my second commission piece at this very moment. The game Old Gods of Appalachia is by Monte Cook Games, who we appreciate so many of their games, and we have a couple other things coming up this year we're going to be running and playing. And Old Gods of Appalachia is based on the podcast of the same name by DeepNerd Media, who are pretty much just amazing in every way. They can really make something feel scary with just a few words. A real magic to that. There's something I'm missing, and I'm not sure what it is. Well, let's bring everybody on. I'll probably remember it while we're talking. All right, everyone, welcome. It has been 2 weeks, and it has been a painful 2 weeks, but we are here again and we are in the mines. Why don't we let everyone go around and say who they are? Let's start with Tegan.
Hi, y'all. I am Tegan Foxcroft. I am played by Kayla. I am a perceptive tinkerer who crafts powerful objects, and the person playing Tegan does a lot of crazy things in Cypher and a bunch of other different systems. You can check out the links that I got dropped if you want to follow and see the pure chaos designs that I create for my own personal stuff. Or if you love the Underground Oracle publishing stuff we do, I'm also the general manager there. So any of our Cypher shorts, again, sorry not sorry for the post-apocalyptic ones that are coming out. It's harsh, but it's post-apocalyptic. It's supposed to be harsh. Looking forward to doing the Cypher shorts for our Dark Supers that start happening in the next month or two. For our patrons, as they voted on that, so you should become a patron if you want to vote on what kind of genre of shorts you want to see coming up. And keep an eye out because we have a lot of fun announcements happening from you all.
Nice. You caught me mid-drink. All right. Walt.
I planned it that way.
Good timing. Walt.
Good evening, everyone. Pardon my lack of a voice tonight. Feel a little under the weather, but I'm here and I'm ready to play. I'm excited. My name is Robby Weiss, one-time podcaster, now full-time player, and just friend of the scene. I do a handful of things here and there. Voice acting, playing around in my garden, playing in cool things, and doing charity stuff when I can. If you're really interested, you can check me out on my Linktree, Weiss_Robby. I'm super excited to be back after 2, I'll agree, painful weeks of being off. And I'm afraid of what we're going to find in this coal mine. I don't think we didn't bring a canary, pretty sure.
Yes, you did.
Oh, well then
We did.
I feel very sorry for these canaries.
All right. Father Bartimaeus.
Your turn to catch me with a drink. Great combat. Appreciate it.
Hello, everybody. I am Barnabas Crowley. I am a cursed speaker who possesses the gift. I am played by Grimm, who is a game designer and game reviewer. You can follow me at predominantly at my Twitter. Keep an eye on my itch page. Also, unfortunately, it's a little bit late, but my Ash Can should be out by the end of next week. Had some things come up for that. Anyways, I agree that this has been a very tense 2 weeks trying to figure out what's going to be happening next. Looking forward to seeing how it goes, and hopefully everybody makes it out alive on this one. That would be great. So yeah, there we go.
Professor Hayes.
Hello, I am Professor Hayes, a shifty speaker who speaks in tongues, played by Brandon Hall. Big fan of Monte Cook Games, frequent GM of the system. You'll often find me at the conventions running things for them or at their booth helping out. So if you go to Gen Con, PAX U, GameHoleCon, please stop by and say hello.
All right. And Nekola. Not Nekola, I'm sorry. Benny.
I am Benny, the hardy explorer who becomes the beast. And I am played by Nekola. I'm the director of programming over at Diversity Saves. We're a 501c3 nonprofit in the TTRPG space, uplifting, creating space, creating materials for creators in marginalized communities. We run various things over on Twitch and YouTube, as well as workshops and things like that. So you can find us at diversitysaves.org. Other than that, oh my gosh, I'm so nervous.
I do want to apologize for last week. We had some technical errors right at the end that sort of stuttered out some of the show, and we did end up inside the caves, and I'll talk about that in a moment. And the moment we had to quit was when Benny had turned into a falcon or something. Was it a falcon? Or a hawk?
Benny was about to. She is not yet,
About
but
to.
she's turning into a hawk
Right, about
in
to.
a minute.
All right. Well, one William Shakespeare, Bill Shakespeare in these parts, said still waters run deep. Well, coal mines do too. And their stillness is just as fearful as the watery depths that you find in the sea. To that end, it's time to enter the Love, Idle, and Elders Deep Mines Company Coal Mine Number 1. Luckily with a canary and a mule, at least to a certain point. As most worst-case scenarios attribute, there are some long-missing folks related to Mr. Walt Gwynnon that are supposedly lost here. Where they can be found is still up in the admittedly heavy and sooty air, but if vigor and determination and dynamite has anything to say about it, they will be found alive or in pieces. We are now in a place where the darkness has overwhelmed the eyes of those here. There are some lanterns with them, if I remember correctly. And Professor Hayes can actually see a little bit all right in here, even without that. Kind of to his surprise. And Benny is nervously considering or about to turn into a feathered friend to fly up a chute in the coal mines that is unclimbable by anyone else. At least not climbable by, there are no ladders or whatnot here. And everyone is realizing how cold and still the air is here. The dust is settled on everything except you at the moment. There isn't a sound to be heard except odd ambient sounds that are really just the sounds of the earth as it creaks through the world. The Appalachians are known for the sounds that the mountains make, but few people hear those sounds from inside. Coal miners know those sounds. They live with them. They understand them as much as a person can. And some they avoid. They know that some sounds are not to be trifled with. The sound of a gas release in an just open cave can be deadly, and they know things like that should not be messed with. Along the wall, Mr. Walt Gwynnon hears the very slight buzz of a wing.
Is it one of my bees?
Your bees, as far as you know, are in your beard.
Or lack thereof now.
Walter still has a beard.
Better.
Whether Robby does or not is another thing.
Is it one of them damn robber flies?
You don't know. It didn't sound like the wings of the robber flies, which are actually pretty silent. Not quite silent, but pretty close. It sounded like a bee.
Can I look in the direction of which way I heard it fly?
Yeah, and when you turn your head to that part of the wall, you see that there are a few bees coming in and out of an open vein, a hole in a crevice in the crack of the wall. There is a hive deep inside there, and you can, not only do you hear the wings, you feel the hive. You didn't even know that bees lived in caves or in mines.
It's new to me. Am I able to pick up on any of their behaviors?
They seem to be doing all the things normal honeybees would do.
And they don't seem aggressive or
Nope.
angry or...
Nope, and it's only one bee that you heard kind of come out of the hive in this part, out through the crevice.
And I'm with the rest of the group here, right?
Yeah, you're right there. You just notice that little buzz on the air that is still, and you always can hear that buzz.
Hey, Tegan,
Yeah.
you ever seen any beehives down here in the mine?
You have. You
I
have.
have.
Matter of
Yeah.
fact, you know that there are two kinds of bees you find in the mines. There are honeybees, they are always somewhere where they can access the outside. Not where people can access it necessarily, but they can always get to the outside. And there are also some called mine bees. And they are like honeybees, but they're solitary, and they dig holes and have their eggs in those. And there are plenty of them in the mines too. They don't look quite the same. They have a fuzzy tuft between their thorax and their head, and they're kind of velvety, actually.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on is there a lot of them or not a lot of them?
The mining bees, there's quite a few of them, but they're solitary. They don't make hives, and they don't make swarms. But the honeybees, you can find those quite often anywhere where there is easy or quick access to the outside world in some way.
Okay.
They still need
So-
outside.
If we're seeing a lot of them, it's probably a honeybee swarm, which means there's probably a way to the surface that people don't know about for them to get out, do the whole pollination thing that people talk about that I guess is where honey comes from or something. But there are little bees that try to mimic us miners. They dig little tunnels and have babies in the little tunnels, and
Well, look right here. There's a hive of honeybees right here.
And there's just a little sliver of a crack, and there's like a bee standing, crawling around outside of it. But Walt, you can sense inside that crack a substantial hive deep in there somewhere.
I feel like as soon as Walter has said that, Tegan has gone like eye pressed up to the crest.
Now, don't piss him off, Tegan. We don't need to be fishing a barrel down here.
I mean, there's gotta be. I mean, there's some way to get out. I guess on the other side of the crack.
I guess let's mark that down. If it's easier to get out by blowing a hole through here than it would be to run our way back through the rest of the mine, then, you know.
Tegan's gonna take the chalk and do like 4 big arrows.
Yep, that's a good idea.
Point against the crack.
Benny, you are sitting there watching them and considering your bird making decision. What?
Yeah, Benny has been like watching this, but also like taking some deep breaths and like absent-mindedly fidgeting with the string.
And you feel
which,
something.
I don't know if it has a name.
You feel like water or something drip on your head. And you look up and you don't see no water.
What's
It's
that?
just like one drop.
I like touch my hair.
There's something wet there. Oh, it's white. And
Okay, but then I like. Yeah.
it's not water. It's white and brown and gray. And then you hear from above the sounds of bats squeaking up above all y'all in the cave.
Just guano on my head.
I
There was
feel like
guano on my head.
I feel like Tegan just starts laughing from where she finishes the arrow.
Well, they say that when a bird drops one on you, it's good luck, right? I mean, wouldn't this be the same thing here?
No.
Hey, look, Benny's got some good
Who
luck.
is that?
That's a bat.
Just like elbowing into Tegan, like.
It's
Who
really
says
small.
birds
It's
are
fine.
good? It's okay. It's fine. Well.
Because you're standing under the cave opening that goes higher up, so.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So, in her deep breathing, I want to have used my single action extra recovery that I get
Okay.
as her like centering herself and like. Anyway, she wipes the guano that was on her hands on the cart, and then probably on her pants too, because she really doesn't care about getting his. She doesn't care as Nicole cares and is a little grossed out. Okay, but like, oh, if we're gonna do this, we should get this over with. I don't really want to be in the caves longer than we have to be.
Be fine.
Worm?
Oh
Big
yeah,
worm.
yeah. I guess that's true. And
Big worm.
Tegan
Gonna
will
end the
start
world.
moving all of the things from the cart and things that we have into like a little 5 by 5 foot cube right under or near the hole. Because she's assuming we're having to eventually transport everything.
Okay, but let's just do this. And Benny's gonna hand the string to whoever's standing closest to her, and she is going to transform into a hawk.
Well,
And then
that
she's
would
going to
be
perch on the side of the cart.
Professor Hayes, you were standing the closest. Benny hands you this ball of
Well,
string.
dang.
If you get in trouble, just pull on it. Like yank it. Don't just. You're gonna be pulling it the whole time, but you know, like a tug.
Benny's little hawk, just as a hawk on the side of the thing, like sticks out one of her little hawk legs, waiting for the string to get tied on her little hawk leg.
Oh, right.
Don't hawks require bright light to be able to see anything?
Do they? Nobody brought that up last time.
Hawks,
Are we gonna
hawks
have
are
to
not,
retcon-
hawks are not nocturnal birds. Hawks are not night birds.
Hawks
What
cannot
bird
see in complete darkness, but they can see in low light conditions.
Okay, well,
And we're in
Okay.
a cave.
Maybe we could tie a lantern to her foot.
well, my little beast list just says bird. It doesn't say anything about specific birds.
I mean, if you're going to be a bird, an owl would probably be a better option.
Well, here's exactly what happens. Benny says, I'm going to be a hawk, and then turns into an owl because she doesn't quite know the difference. She is 11 years old.
Right.
This is fair.
Nice
This is
recovery.
fair.
Love it.
This is perfect. I appreciate it.
So
I
the little
appreciate
leg
it.
comes out, and then have to push all the feathers up because there's so many feathers on an owl leg.
Yeah, they're fluffy. It's a fluffy bird.
And then, so that the little string can get tied on.
Double knotted, just to be safe.
It's a good idea. And you've got
And
now
then
this.
she proceeds to turn her head all the way around to make eye contact and look at everybody.
That is the most unusual, awesome feeling. Like,
It's just like,
can I help?
Who, me?
You see someone with a lollipop, and you want to know how many licks it takes to get to the center of it.
1, 2.
The world may never know.
I don't know.
anyway, but she also kind of like it's almost like she's looking for an okay, or like permission, not really permission, but just like an okay, everybody's ready, she can go. As she's like looking between everybody.
We're all just staring at her.
There's immense worry and not liking the situation on Bartimaeus' face. But he doesn't have a better idea. But there's not a better plan.
No, there wasn't. This is why Benny's here. All right, Benny
Off you
takes
go,
off
Benny.
and goes straight up the tunnel. And that's the season. No, I'm just kidding.
You fly up, and the tunnel goes fairly straight for a little while, and then it turns off hard. And you're a good flyer as an owl. Owls they are amazing flyers. And you turn hard, and you can see it opens up to kind of a wider but very flat area. And you kind of can't fly real well in here all the way. But then it opens. And there's an empty space. You've flown for a while to get here. And when that empty space opens up, you see that you are in maybe a cavern that is opened with stalactites and stalagmites, ground and up above. But then the ones above you, as you're flying, they drip. And one of them moves. It wiggles, and you see something the size of a ball drop to the ground. And it doesn't splatter nothing, it just lies there. Can I get an intellect roll from you?
Nope, we're spending XP on that. That was bad. That was so bad. That was embarrassing for an owl.
Owls are not
That's
that
better.
smart. It's fine.
That's not a great omen for this
It is,
session.
it is for your perception, though, so an owl would have benefits to that.
Actually, yeah, bird quote is trained in perception.
Yeah.
So I got an 11.
All right. So when it drops, you see that there are all kinds of tumbled things on the ground that are not really stalactites and stalagmites, which actually you've probably never seen. You've probably never been in an actual cavern or cave. And there is a mess of stuff on the ground. Odd shapes and whatnot.
Can I get close without landing?
You can fly close.
To
you
the
can
ground?
fly low, sure.
I want to fly low and see what it is, but I also want to like circle stalag bottom, whichever one that is, to make sure that it's actually like look. I see that face that was just made. Whichever one sticks out of the ground. Stalag might, because you might trip on it.
Yeah.
Make sure it's like an actual rock before I perch like a talon on it to kind of like hold me steady so that I can examine what's on the ground. Did any of that make any sense?
Yes. And I'm sending you a message in Discord.
Okay.
I'm not the only one anymore.
I guess I could.
And you're flying over them, and another one does that, a little further away, same kind of thing. And I'll wait.
It's just like.
And it's about the size of like from my wrist to my elbow, like that long.
How dumb do we think Benny is? Do we think Benny's real dumb? Because I'm thinking of doing something that's real dumb.
I will let you make the decision on your level of dumbness.
I mean, Benny is an 11-year-old child with no education or upbringing.
But she's a survivor.
But she's
or daring.
no.
Let me
so,
recheck.
but
Let
she-
me re. This is a wisdom. This is a wisdom-based thing. We know intelligence is mediocre. This is a wisdom-based dumb thing.
Oh yeah, street.
True enough.
Benny survived on her own for an extended period of time at a young age.
Yeah, I would
She's
say
not-
Benny is pretty wise as a kid.
Okay.
She would know things not to touch.
mm,
Yeah.
Okay.
But dumb is fun sometimes.
No. She doesn't always listen to it, but she realizes when things are not to touch.
Okay. So, looking more bigger. Is this cave like a dead end? Or this cavern like a dead end?
It's hard to
Is there
tell
further-
'cause it seems to tighten down in a lot of places and kind of, it's very confusing, like a maze in here.
How do I have a lot of string left? Do I think?
No, you do not.
No. Okay. The thing that I got in my messages, is it like more than like 20? Is it a lot?
No, it's more like 3 or 4 that you probably see in here.
Oh, okay.
It's not 20 for sure.
Okay. No, that affects it. That affects the decision. Is there any sort okay. So like I had felt a drip. Is there a way to get like close enough to like get any kind of goo on maybe one of my talons
Yeah.
without. I think I want to like step in goo that is around there.
Okay. And there is a pool of goo around it. Around each one.
What, does it hurt?
No, it looks in the darkness.
Okay.
It just looks like black. Like water even looks like black in the darkness like this.
Okay. And then I want to like one more like look around
So
to
you
see if I missed anything. No, I don't have to like move a bunch, but I can also turn my head 360 degrees. So then I like hop back on one little on one talon as I'm holding my goo talon up.
okay.
And I like hop back so I'm not right next to it, and I'm like looking around to see if I missed anything.
Yeah, you see that you realize now that you're taking some time that what's above you is not stalactites, it's roots.
Okay. 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 Okay.
Go down.
Does any of them look like they are already broken off?
Yeah, some of them look like they have broken and dropped something, like maybe what you're seeing.
Oh. Oh! Okay. 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 Cool.
And that goo,
I get the heck
you
out of it.
realize, is a little sticky. It's not water.
Oh, yeah.
It,
No. Okay. Okay. I think the realization that I exclaimed almost comes out as like a whoo,
No.
like for the little ounce, like oh, whoo, 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 and like she like
and the
takes
thing
off back
wiggles
the
in front of
Oh.
you. It's
Nope.
like, okay, you take off.
No, it does. No, it does.
It does
Benny
wiggle.
nopes the heck out of there.
Right, you
30
yes, they
feet
know
away.
that. Benny goes 30 feet away, at least.
If she thinks that she's seen everything that she can here,
Yeah.
she's gonna fly back the direction that she came.
And when you go up, I mean, you're able to fly back the direction you came. When you go up, there's that part that narrows out. You almost have to walk through that. It's so narrow in a couple places. So you land and start, hop walking because you're an owl. And you see something move on your right-hand side when you're going through.
Which translates to Tegan said, "If you think you see something, no, you didn't."
And you hear
But Benny
like
looks.
the water dripping in
Okay,
the
Benny-
background. And then you hear,
Waddle faster.
Benny, Benny, it's me. And that came from off on your right.
Who does it sound like?
You don't recognize that voice.
Okay, Benny's gonna keep walking because she doesn't have really anybody. I mean, there's probably one or two people in her life maybe that she could think of that she might remember, but she doesn't keep attachments.
Yep.
So she's so far as like, oh no.
And then you hear,
Oh.
and you feel this quick motion off on your right.
Okay.
What are you doing? Can I get an initiative roll from you, please?
Yeah, sure.
Fly, birdie, fly.
Tug the rope.
Tug the rope.
I'm gonna also pay a speed point to ease my initiative.
Okay.
Because I have danger sense.
Oh, nice. Very useful in
So I
cases
rolled an
like this.
11.
You rolled a
I
what?
rolled 11.
11, okay.
11.
All right.
I don't exactly know what easing does, but I'm going to use it because why not?
That 11 becomes
So
a
pencil.
14.
Okay, cool. 14.
So, what are you doing? You go first.
I go first.
Yes.
I look at this thing.
And you look to
The
the
heck
right,
is
and
this?
you see something that looks like kind of what you'd seen before, but bigger and more like stuck in this wedge of the mountain. And it has little tendrils, and the freakiest thing is it's got a face on the end of it. A human face. And its tendrils start reaching for you, and they try and grasp at you. The face isn't clear. It's more like a sheen over a face. Like if you put a sheet on a face and you suck in the air, but formed on the end of a root.
Bye. I'm gonna like waddle as quickly as I can.
All right. You only got to
realizing
waddle
that
a few feet before you can fly. It's just a thin area where you don't have enough space. So you hop, 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 flutter off.
Did my little being a good at initiative
Can you make me
save
a
my
can you-
life?
Can you make me a
Yes.
defense roll real quick?
Oh, what?
A defense roll. You're rolling to
Cool.
avoid.
I
its
am trained in both
grasp.
might and in intellect defense.
All right.
Just to let you know.
It is
16.
a speed.
Woo-hoo-hoo!
All right. You flutter away, but you feel something just barely miss your feet. And then you go about 10 feet and you realize whatever it were, it hooked on your rope.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna say a funny thing and then freak out. Benny poops a little. Because birds don't have to stop. They just keep going.
True enough. Urea.
Okay.
Not even regular stuff.
No, it's so it's holding the rope?
It has seemed to have hooked on the rope or something. You're not looking back, so you're not exactly sure. The rope is pulling, like it's slipping through the fingers or something. But you definitely feel a bit of a tug on it.
Dang,
It is
I
not
don't know.
holding you back from flying. You just feel it. Like you can feel if you have like a rope
Yeah.
behind you and it gets hooked on something, you can feel it slowing as you're pulling and it's dragging
Would it feel
along.
would it feel like a tug on my end too?
It's kind of, it would be loose from that end at the moment because it would have been
A little slack.
Yeah.
Yeah, because coming back I would have
Right.
been okay. I'm gonna keep pulling. Even if it makes it taut, like Benny's gonna keep going in the away direction until she no longer can.
Okay. So you get to the top of the hole that goes down, and the rest of you down there, particularly Professor Hayes, who weirdly can see in this darkness without too much effort, not even a little bit, like you can totally see in this, is you see the bird start to come down and then go
Coming back.
and hang there and come against the wall and seems to be flapping and sort of bouncing off the wall, trying to pull itself down
How
Benny,
far away?
change back.
at
Benny,
the top
Benny,
of the
change
little
back.
cave.
No, Benny's not. Oh, God. When it's Benny's turn again, I just remembered something. Keep going.
It is Benny's turn.
Okay. Benny leveled up.
Benny did.
Benny
Has
leveled
some
up.
New abilities.
New abilities that I forgot I had. I spent an action to use escape,
Yeah.
which will let
2 speed
you slip
points.
your restraints, squeeze through bars, break the grip of a creature holding you, break free of quicksand, or otherwise get loose from whatever's holding you in place.
Yeah, you see
So-
Benny flopping up there and then suddenly dropping. Wings come out, and then Benny's coming
Yeah,
out. And if you can see fear on an owl, that's what you see as it's falling towards you all. And yes, exactly. The eyes go owl wide. Like bug-eyed, but owl wide. And you land in the hands
Sorry,
of
go ahead.
whoever is down there.
Bartimaeus, dude, my child, my child.
When Benny it lands in Bartimaeus' arms, she's gonna flap her wing towards Tegan, trying to get Tegan's attention, or to get Father Bartimaeus to take her that direction. And then
Change back.
no, she's shaking her head.
What is it, girl? I think she's trying to tell us something.
Right.
Tim's talking to Will.
Looking at.
I don't
This is
speak bird.
Right.
This is just knowledge Benny would have from transforming into animals and shit like that. So, but she's getting Tegan's attention, and then she's gonna stick that foot out to Tegan, that's covered in goo.
It is the ichor from your yard.
Goggles down, little flappies down, taking a sample to
Tell
compare.
me that's not what I think it is, Tegan.
Ooh, Father, I do a lot of things, but I'm not gonna lie to a priest.
How much fire do we have?
We got a TNT couple of boxes worth of fire.
Now, y'all,
So once
that thing is above us. We don't want it to come crashing back down.
Well, that's what the
What's funny? What's
that's
funny
what the
about
fuse
that?
is for. That's what
Right.
the fuse is for. You let do. So you're away, and then you light the fuse, and it goes do.
The other great thing is if we get farther enough away, how fire works, we should be okay. Because I'm a priest and I know things.
You might Walter might want to help those bees if we're gonna blow things up.
Yeah, I was giving that some thought.
Benny, Father Bartimaeus feels suddenly quite a bit heavier as Benny untransforms out of the owl. Because she knew that once she transformed, there's a chance her foot wouldn't be covered in goo anymore. And so that's why she waited. She transforms and she goes, The worms! The worms
Yes, that's what we're here
are
for.
the roots. The roots, they break and they form larvae. I won't say the word larva. I don't know the word larva.
Baby bugs.
Baby bug.
They make
Grubs.
little grubs.
You would, yeah. I was like,
Yeah, you would know grubs.
Yeah.
They're up there?
The root breaks down and makes grubs, and there's grubs on the ground.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, so we're gonna burn it all. Great. Which
Okay,
actually
but-
means if we go back and we burn the actual bleeding tree, we could just top down this entire thing
I think we do both. I think we blow up from the bottom and fire
and then
down
burn it
from
down.
the top.
I
Yeah.
like it. I like it.
Were you followed? Were you chased? It seemed like
Oh yeah,
you were in distress.
I was. Yeah.
And you hear
do you-
footsteps from behind all y'all. And you
Walter,
see a light
putting Benny down
at the
behind
corner.
him.
And you see a light coming around the corner.
I'm gonna pretend like I'm checking the tracks in the minecart that we have with us. Like do.
Are y'all down here somewhere? And you hear the voice of Eddie Nix.
And his finger is going right to Benny's mouth before Benny can say a damn word.
Eddie Nix is the one I don't like, right? He's the pecker.
Yeah, correct. He's the
Okay,
pecker
I'm
one
gonna
you don't
I'm gonna
But you
wave
do own
that
some dynamite.
so that everyone but Brandon Hall Or the Brennan Hall's character, the professor hides because the professor is the only one
Hello.
he doesn't have with me. I'm just gonna make tinking sounds like I'm working on the car.
And the light turns toward y'all as it turns the corner. Oh, there you are. Jennifer told me to come and check on you. It ain't safe down here, you know. It's dangerous in these places.
Yeah, you
can
should
get
really
lost.
leave.
I mean, I've been here for a real long time. I mean, you know how young y'all hired me. I had to make sure all the carts were good because some of the wheels had damage, like some of the tracks weren't good, so we had to check on that.
Yeah, but the little one you got there ain't. I mean, another year before they can come work in the mine. I'm not sure I want someone that young in here. You know, it ain't safe. You ain't 12 yet, right? You said 11. Yeah, you're too young. You got another year of growing to do.
I'm
So-
17
oh.
and a half.
Bullshit. So what I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna use one of my abilities for Hear Me Now. As a priest and as a man of knowledge, I'm going to use 2 intellect points to seem like I know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm sorry, so this is actually my ward. She is 12 years old. Whoever told you 11 was misspeaking on that regard. She's recently come into my care. She's also, unfortunately, not been educated at all during her life, so she doesn't actually know her numbers that well. So I'm sorry about whoever told you 11. They were entirely misguided on that.
And she's my apprentice.
And while they're all saying
Stop
that,
helping!
I'm gonna use
Stop helping!
I'm gonna use mind reading on him for 2 intellect and see if he's buying it or what, if he has an ulterior motive being down here or what.
He don't care whether you're telling the truth or lying. He don't want to come and find y'all. He wants to go home. He wants to get that dynamite and blow the crap out of this place as fast as possible.
Well, that makes about 8 of us.
He is really weirded out by all the sounds he's hearing down here now and the rumblings that keep happening. He is not comfortable being in these mines anymore. He used to be.
No, Eddie. It's Eddie, right?
It's Eddie. Yes, you're that Professor Hayes, right?
That is correct. Look,
why
we're
are
just
your
gonna
eyes
finish
so
up
big?
Well,
And when the rest of you look at his eyes are wide like an owl. Like unnaturally wide and open. Are y'all right? What
Oh,
I
happened
think we
to
might
you
need
there?
a doc.
some of us were just born this way, I suppose. But the big thing is that we're almost done here, and soon we'll be out of here, and there's no need to worry about us. We're gonna set this. We're
Right.
gonna.
We're
What
gonna
did we
set
say
this
we were
right.
gonna do here?
We're gonna
You
set-
know
we're gonna
your
set
way
this
out,
right.
right? I mean, you can either go back the way you came. There's also a stairwell just up ahead that goes up and down up to the top and down 2 more levels. Although I honestly don't want you going down no further. It ain't safe down there. Those are the places that are a little bit even the miners don't like to go that deep in here.
There's some kind of, as Tegan said, they're just fixing the cart, and then we'll be right on our way up.
And he says, all right, y'all, but I don't want to come have to look for no missing people or nothing. So please make your way. Please get out as fast as you can. I don't want my job to be put in jeopardy in any way.
I got it. Don't worry.
All right, Tegan. I know you're okay. I just don't know the rest of the folks you're with as far as minor ability. Although the guy the professor there looks like he could probably see in the dark all by himself.
My eyes are just like slowly blinking.
They're not timed right. They're a little mismatched.
Yeah, we got this. Don't you worry. Here, and I'm just gonna pull out like a little flask from my chest. Be like, you go take this. You go chill in this like supply shed. We got this. This will all be good in a little bit.
All right. Well, thank you for this. I won't, if you don't mind, I don't mind taking this for a bit. I'll give you the flask back when you're ready. I'll wait up in the shed anyway until y'all are done. I got some stuff to take care of. Professor, you heard his mind change what he was gonna say. And then he turns and starts to walk out. And then he turns and leaves.
And Tegan, under her breath, goes, "He's such a beggarwood."
Walter kind of pipes up there for just a quick second as he's walking away. He kind of has an aha moment as he thinks back to what Eddie said about there being multiple levels and there being dangers and things like that. And he goes, hey Eddie, before you head back up, I got a quick question for you.
And he turns back. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, you said something about the lower levels.
Yeah.
Y'all ever seen anything weird? Heard anything weird down there?
Of course, these are mines. You always hear the ghosts of the dead and stuff. They don't leave the mines. They're here haunting us all the time.
Does Eddie know? Does Eddie know me well enough to know that I've lost my wife and daughter?
Probably. You don't know for certain, but it's not an unknown story.
You ever heard any? You ever heard anything like Ellie or Evie down here?
Your wife and daughter?
Hey, I this is one place I never looked.
I ain't never heard the voices of anyone in particular. It always seems to be sort of a distant, like a voice on the wind, although there ain't no wind here, so.
All right, but you ain't seen nothing particularly weird lately down on the lower levels?
Nothing we don't see on the regular.
All right, well, I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. He turns and starts heading away.
When you say his mind changed what he was going to say, you mean like his mind was different than what he was going to say? Or
Like he changed his mind about what he was going to say.
Ah, okay.
Tegan just standing there
Do you know
making
what
like
he might have
metal
said?
tinking sounds to make sure he's still leaving. Tink, 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 tink.
And Benny has been looking up into the tunnel to make sure the thing didn't follow her.
Benny.
You don't see nothing up there. Except bats
What?
every now and then. You see the ceiling move a little bit from a bat here or there.
Benny.
Uh-huh.
What tried to follow you?
Oh, okay. So it was like a root, but it was also like a tentacles. And it had like on the end of it, it was like a face, but not a face, and it was kind of like this, and it was like
So kind of like a face with no features on it? There were no eyes, there were no mouth, there were no nose.
Benny. It knew my name.
Benny, what did we say?
Look, she didn't follow it. She didn't look at it.
I
I hope
ran.
not. Right, she ran away from it.
Oh, she
I
looked
ran
at
away.
She looked at it. She knows what it looks like. She looked at it.
I did.
She might not.
I did look at it, but it called my name before I looked at it.
That's when you ignore it.
Well, I tried, but it kind of had grabbed me and was grabbing my. I did poop on it.
Tegan gives her like a little bit of a high five for that.
I can't guarantee it was like a thing that I wanted to do, but it just happened. It grabbed my string, and I was like, it's so weird. But it was like the end of the root had the face thingy, but then it also had little tendrils.
I mean, clearly, fire and explosions are our answer to this current situation we're in.
It is.
Bartimaeus looks over at Robby, at Walter, just with this look of, I'm not gonna like this.
Do you think Benny got like a guesstimation, like a
Size?
size guesstimation that she could say like 20, 50, 100 feet kind of thing?
Well, it was the end of a route, and it was about...
No, like the whole cavern.
Oh, the cavern? Oh, the cavern
Yeah.
was big enough people could walk around in there. It wasn't super deep, but it was deep enough that you could walk around and the ceiling would be double your height before you touched anything.
That she couldn't really fly through, though?
Where it
Well, they were
narrowed to a
tunnel
pretty
getting
thin
there.
point.
And how long is this red rope?
I-
Because that's how far it would have been.
How what?
The red rope
Oh, it's not,
that I was holding. Sorry, go ahead.
is that what it's called? Because I just wrote down ever-growing string.
Oh, sorry, the string. I'm mixing up my strings and my ropes. So I was holding that, right? And we felt it go.
I got to the.
I guess
got
you
to
would
the
know
end.
it went to the end. I wouldn't know that. I just have the other side.
Yeah. So I tell them, well, I got pretty close to the end of the rope, and also there was like a cavern, and it's like 2 people tall, with the big sticky things that come from the ceiling, and the biggest sticky things that stick out of the ground. It's a big room.
Mm-hmm. So what
You're gonna
I'm
be-
hearing is
A lot.
explosion. She just
What I
gestured
heard
back
also.
at the bottom.
Now,
Miss Foxcroft, that is the exact same thing I heard.
now,
The question is, how do we get these explosions up that hole?
I
Is it gonna
possibly
be
have a
enough?
solution to that. I may or may not be able to do some weird shit, and she's gonna like hold her hand out to a tool that she left by the cart and use draw item to just like it like counts her. And I've been noodling our situation here, and I think if I can get up there and like peekies my eyes over and like spot the stuff, I might be able to get it up.
Is that a power of the devil, Father Bartimaeus? I mean, in your mind, what
Depends
do you
on
think
its
of that?
usage. Well, so currently there's about 15 voices telling me what to think about it in my head at the moment, to answer your question. But the predominant ones are, if Benny's abilities are not from the devil, why would these abilities be from the devil?
But this
The
is also
usage-
Guilty Hole.
This
I'm
is
gonna
also
be real.
Guilty Hole.
I learned how to do this because my pantaloons were stuck on a creature's stag head or something after that celebration night we had. I didn't know I could do it before then, but it's turned out to be useful on occasion.
So
And-
there's also variances in evil and proportional damage to the world. Tegan's ability to draw items without touching them is here. Bloody Worm, Fire, Evil Tree, here.
And while you're
Didn't they say
considering
something about
all
the-
this,
Go ahead.
you do feel the cave rumble and shake, like you had heard things above ground. And unlike above ground, the dust fills the air quick as it makes clouds of soot. And the ground shakes enough that it looks like it vibrates for a moment, and then it stops as fast as it started.
Pagan goes to the pack that she brought with, because she brought the travel pack with the rope and all that, and just grabs 2 of the climbing spiky things that they have in there, and she's like, okay, someone yeet me. Up.
What about the stairs? Could the stairs take us closer?
Not unless there's an entrance that you saw that led to the stairs, because we having to be digging.
Because even if it's up, because this is up, and the next level up from here is above ground, right?
Yeah.
Tegan?
It sounded like it was. Oh, does Tegan would know that. There's
Yeah.
actually one level up higher that is not a very long level, and then one more to get above ground.
It's like
Okay,
a
so-
shallow level, and then it's above ground.
But we'd still need access to that
also-
cavern from there.
Yeah, we would have to probably
I know
dig
that
below.
like Booms is. I know that the Booms is really big, but like all that I could see was the roots. Do you need to like set explosives on the top and the underground to have it go off at the same time? To
No,
make sure you
so
get-
what we can do, right, is hole is flammable, so blow cavern with possibly coal around it, comes down, yeet fire from above down to it. And then,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
Now,
The
now
other-
hang on.
I'm just
The
worried
other
about the
thing-
tree that's above the ground.
The other big thing to remember and keep in mind is when we lit this substance on Tegan's property, it burned. And it burned up also.
It burned better than tar.
It did burn better than tar. And because we're using moonshine as part of the fuel source for this, correct me if I'm wrong, Tegan. There'll be a blast of flammable going everywhere when it goes off.
Yeah, so the exploding canisters of moonshine should provide an ethanol vaporization base for the fire to continue to catch other things.
Now,
Okay, because
I hate to be negative about this, but as much as I love explosions, we have reason to believe that Ellie and Evie are down here, and I cannot go affording to explode my wife and daughter.
If your wife and daughter are down here, they're most likely where the weird grubby things are being born. If they said worms are everywhere, so we like going up there is something we gotta do no matter what.
I agree with that, but
We'll
blowing
check
things up, I think we need to be delicate about this a little bit until we find them.
The other thing, Walter, is there is a long history of things like this using the voices, faces, memorisms,
At that point,
memories.
Walter is going to cut you off, and he is going to grab you by your
Cassock.
cassock, sure. And he's going to be,
Collar.
don't you tell me they aren't here. They're here.
They might be.
I heard them.
You heard what it wanted you to hear.
They are all I have, and I lost them. I will find them. And if you
they
get
aren't
in my
here,
way,
I'm not going to stop you, but you have to take in consideration what is going to happen if they aren't here. And while you have lost everything, there are thousands of people who are currently in this town who could go through the exact same thing you did, if not worse.
and he pauses for a moment.
People who you know, who you have grown up with. You've lost your wife and child. That is a horrible, terrible thing, and I am so sorry. I pray for their salvation. I pray that they are resting in the grace of God. I have history with these kinds of things. I'm not saying they're not up there. There's also totally the possibility that if they are up there, they aren't themselves. There's a possibility that if they are up there, they are in pain. They are in a holding that I would not wish upon anyone. I'm not saying they're not. We can all go. We can all look. I'm not saying we shouldn't do that, because if they are up there and they are detained in such a way we can get them out safely, and they are there in such a way in which they are themselves, we should get them out. I don't disagree with that. But if they aren't, or if they're there in such a way where they aren't themselves, if they're there in such a way where what is there is just more of this, he points towards the dripping goo. Are you going to be man enough to do the right thing by them?
And with each kind of statement that you make, you can see the anger continue to rise a little bit before it kind of peaks off. But with each moment, the bees kind of start to come out of his beard a little bit, and you can see that they are agitated, and
you feel the swarm on the wall kind of exiting
Pick up.
into the space over there. You, Walter,
And-
not you, Father Bartimaeus. You don't really sense the swarm.
And as you kind of finish, kind of your statement there, he finally just like kind of pushes you away, like lets go of your collar. I'm gonna find him.
And you feel the ground rumble again. And you hear a sound of scraping from down the hall, like the rumble is right there. And then it stops.
Tegan's gonna like come up to Walter and like in a way where they're like beside them, but Tegan is facing the father. He's gonna put a hand on Walter and be like, we're gonna find them. Well, and then like kind of like give the father a look of like, we'll do what we need to do, kind of.
Like a wink and a thumbs up.
Look,
Cover my
Tegan had
ears.
that
We're gonna blow him up.
Tegan had that conversation with father where like she kind of gave a hint that she has experience with probably two very not so good things that just like majorly destroyed a bunch of stuff. So she's like,
Yeah.
we got it. Like, okay, who wants to eat me? Let's go.
I got one more quick thing to do. So as I let go of Father Bartimaeus' collar, Walter steps over to the beehive under the cave, and he actually shoved my hand into the hole or the crevice.
All right.
And I would like to. I don't want to say control the swarm, but I'm going to control the swarm from a mechanical standpoint. I'm going to have them join me.
So as a beekeeper, you can kind of pull them out and clump them on you and stuff, as long as they're calm. And you can do that like without using any power. That's just your understanding and skill.
Okay. Well, I get.
Do you want to use your power and make them your new swarm here?
And kind of for flavor, just because I'm picturing it in
All
my
right.
head.
Yeah.
So correct me if I'm wrong. If a skill requires 2 intellect points and I have an edge of 2, that means I get to use it for free, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, because I am a tier 2 master of the swarm,
Yep.
I can now control swarm.
Yep. This is a controlled swarm now. if you
Yep,
want.
as opposed to just influencing them. So I shove my hand in the into the crevice, and you just see how thousands of bees, I assume, just like swarming up my arm and onto my shoulders, and it's just like it looks like a almost like a fur coat.
Well, that's a fashion choice.
Now, is that the power of the devil, Father Bartimaeus? Is
That might be the power of the devil. Undecided.
And once I'm finished, like once the last of the bees kind of make their way onto my person or around me, or buzzing around me, I kind of just say to the group, "Let's get it done."
Okay, who's eating? I am short. I need help.
And you hear
Bartimaeus moves to.
Oh God.
Oh, not looking up. Not looking up. Don't look up. Don't look up.
no, not up above, from down the hallway. It seems.
Oh no.
Looking down the
And then it
hallway.
stops.
I'll
Well, when you look
at
down
you.
the hallway, it looks like the hallway just ends kind of abruptly. It ain't really much of a hallway no more.
I'm gonna take
It
one.
seems like
there
it's
a hallway
blocked.
Egan, where'd the rest of the hallway go?
I'm gonna go behind the squelching sound.
Behind the wall.
Survey says behind the weird squelching sound we just heard.
Well, that seems to have come from down the hall, but the hall seems to be kind of gone mostly. It's just, it ends kind of abruptly, 20, 30 yards away.
In true Tegan fashion, she's gonna take the longest tool she has because we're underground. She doesn't have a stick, and is gonna go poke it. Poke.
Poke what? The end of the hall?
Yeah, the now disappeared hallway.
Oh, okay. When you, it looks like there's a wall at the end of the hall that weren't there before, and when you push on it, it actually gives a little, and you realize there are these
Oh no.
these bumps that run along the wall in a kind of cylindrical way. And when you poke it,
nails.
you see the wall move forward as it undulates through the hall.
Ooh.
And then suddenly there's a tail end to this thing that just sort of disappears into the wall. And suddenly the hall is in front of you again.
That was
I'm
big.
gonna look down the way I saw the tail.
It disappears into the darkness.
We got big worms, guys. Big worms.
That is not good.
I told you we're behind the squelching.
Alright, let's get you up so we can get these explosives up so we can get the hell out of here.
Yep. Comes back over to the mother. He's like, let's do this. Climb up.
I feel like everybody's doing like a cheerleading, like foot mouth.
So what are y'all doing now?
So I took 2 spikes
Boost.
from the travel pack because it comes with 50
Okay.
feet of rope, rations for 3 days, which I don't plan on being here for 3 days. But it also comes with 3 spikes, so I'm
Alright.
kind of using the spikes as like handholds to try and like get my way up enough to get over, so I can look back down because I gathered all of the bombs and stuff into that 5-foot cube, and so in theory, I should be able to fetch it and put it behind me in the gallery.
Hold on, let me look at your sheet.
Yeah, fetch is the thing that I use the XP to grab.
Yeah, I understand that. So
So
climbing
says-
up is going to require. Do you have climbing as a skill?
I do not, and I'm not very mighty.
Yeah, so you're gonna have to make me a might roll to be able to do what you're talking about, which is a pretty tough thing to do.
I gotta work on my upper body strength.
We're throwing her up there as high as
Yeah, we're boosting her.
Right.
So maybe some assets.
But I feel like it was probably quite a ways if Benny had to fly. Also, I should mention that your pack only has 2 rations because Benny currently is curled up crisscross applesauce in the cart. Like,
that makes sense.
I'm safe in here. They'll be happy I'm in here. I'm gonna snack.
I'm 30 feet away.
Right. I'm over on the bench.
pocket cornbread.
I was over on the bench. So that is a 12.
All right, so you're able to kind of work your way up, not very elegantly. And you get to the top, and it levels off some when you get up there, and some bat guano lands on your forehead as you turn the corner, and you got to kind of wipe it away, and you see the ceiling move a little bit from the bats that are up above. But when it levels out, it becomes a narrow crawl space. You know, as an owl, you're much smaller than a person. You're not sure you can actually get through it all the way to get to the other side. Maybe with a little digging.
I don't necessarily yet need to do digging. Would you say that where it opens up to the cavern is within long range of where I am right now?
Yeah, it's long range, yeah.
Okay, so I'm just gonna like stick my head back down to the downhole so I can see stuff.
You see Benny eating the ration in the cart.
And Tegan's gonna be like, okay, I've never done this before, so please hold for one moment. And she's gonna do what she's seen, like, the mentalists in the circus or something do whenever they come to town, and she's like, oh, like, concentrating on the pile of stuff. And so fetch lets me take objects that can fit in a 5-foot cube that I can see within long range,
Okay.
and then make it appear in an empty open space of my choosing. Or in my hand if I can hold it, but I assume I can't hold that many TNT crates.
Yeah, so you're trying to get the TNT from down below?
Yeah, if we're gonna blow it up, either someone has to carry or pull it up, or
Yeah.
if I can manage to fetch it, then
All right. So
we
you
don't
pull
have
it
to worry
up.
about that. Did it work? I haven't opened my eyes yet. Did it work?
We just see it start floating.
And then you see, down below,
Okay.
you see the dynamite.
So if we
A
can't flavor it
stick.
as floating, but it also says disappear and reappear.
Oh, nice.
This is like,
It sort of bounces along the wall up to the top. It ain't gonna be as elegant as just appearing and disappearing. That's
Not Tegan's
But
style.
it does not bump
That's not
hard
Tegan's
enough to
style.
explode.
it
It's
does
your
not
first
bump
time
hard
pitching.
enough to explode, but it is a nervous looking kind of.
TT needs an mission source.
I'm assuming all those sounds are good.
It's almost there. It's
There's
almost
only
there.
one bad sound that can come out of that.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not dead. I'm still thinking. It's a good sound.
Miss Foxcroft, TNT does need an ignition source to go off, correct?
It does
If I
not.
did it and it's stable. If the glycerin is sweating, we in trouble.
And the stick turns the edge and goes kunk and lands right in front of you.
It's
Can I-
there. Open your eyes.
Okay, yeah. Okay, we did it. Now someone else climb up here.
You have the spikes.
Oh, okay. Probably move away a little.
You don't
bit.
need to use the spikes here because it's kind of level-ish. It just kind of, it goes very flat and very low. It's like it becomes a tight, narrow passage.
I
Oh
was gonna
no,
drop
you're
the
about
spikes
to
down for
drop
them.
the spikes.
I'm gonna drop the spikes down for people to use.
Oh, okay.
Snatches Benny out of the cart.
That's what I'm saying. Probably
Push the cart.
Snatches Benny out of the cart.
drop.
Hold on.
Oh, God.
My child.
Watch
Spark.
out below.
Spark.
Right.
It lands like. Thrum.
And now Tegan has to do all of it by herself.
You are
I
up there.
didn't kill nobody. Y'all still alive.
You are up there all by yourself now, up in this little narrow passageway that narrows as you, if you want to go forward much.
Yeah, I'm gonna, cause I know they're coming up behind me, so I'm gonna try and do like my
Are
best
they?
to like. I'm assuming Tegan
Okay.
is assuming they're coming up behind her. Not gonna leave her here. She's just gonna like do her best to like angry child scrabble on the dirt to make some room to maybe get.
Are y'all going up behind?
I can see. I'll start
First.
coming up behind.
No.
All right. Yeah, Professor Irwin, you get up to the top, spiking it. Can I get a might roll from you?
Yep. Sure can. And
It would
I'll
be
put.
very much like Benny to been like, oh yeah, I could squeeze through and not think of the fact that she was the size of an owl when it happened.
I will spend one precious level of effort for my very small might. Oh no, it's a 1.
Oh no! No! Experience point. Reroll.
All right, I'll reroll
Alright,
it.
so-
I'll reroll
wait,
it.
what?
I'll reroll it.
Experience point.
I'll
Experience
use it
point.
XP.
Nothing.
Wait,
Nothing
what?
said.
No.
Oh, it's a
Why would you
2
do
with a
that?
reroll.
2's better than a 1.
2's better than a 1.
2 is much better than a 1 right now.
When it comes to dynamite, 2 is better than 1.
So you get up some of the way, and then the spike hits a spot that is not able to hold, and you slide your way down, taking 2 points of damage as you are scraped along the inner sides of this cave all the way back. You fall back and hit yourself. It ain't that far, but it's far enough, and it is rough edged all the way down. You found all the edges.
I don't think I'm gonna be able to make it. I say, looking extra puny with my 3 might remaining.
Oh no!
I'll
Do you-
watch. I'll
Do you have
keep
armor,
watch.
by the way? I don't remember if you have armor on, because you would have
No
absorbed
armor.
some. Okay.
Y'all think we
think
could
so.
Benny,
give ourselves a boost up, but if we like flip the cart over?
Guys,
Benny?
I know I can't be the strongest one, but there's rope down there in that pack.
You should have taken it up with you.
Well, I'm busy digging.
Can someone
Benny
throw her the rope?
legitimately looks at Walter and goes, "Can your bees carry you up there?"
That's a
Buddy,
good
I
question for a
I don't
kid.
think they're strong enough to carry my fat ass.
Okay, but what about maybe just the end of the rope?
Now there you might have an idea. And Walter is going to do exactly that and attempt to control the swarm to take the end of the rope up to Tegan.
Give me a roll against your control the swarm. See if you can get them to understand the control you need to do. But if you succeed with that, I'll give it to you. It ain't that heavy.
Okay.
So it'd be intellect. It'd be an intellect-based roll.
Okay. And I am trained in using and understanding magic, if that helps,
It
and
does.
working with animals.
Oh, both of those help.
Ooh.
Yep.
I'd give you
aside
easily
from just
both.
having control swarm.
Yep.
Oh boy, that is a 2.
Oh no.
What is with the rolls tonight?
It seems
We're all
the bees
doomed.
either cannot understand quite the complexity of carrion, or just aren't strong enough to, or able to coordinate in a way where they can buzz it up. But they do go up a little bit before it comes down. You're like, oh, there's something there. One of these days, I'll figure out how to make bees do
That was
my
a
work.
good idea, Benny, but I don't think that's gonna work. And instead, Walter's
Not
gonna
all I have.
tie the end of the rope to like a rock and just attempt to yeet it up there.